Anansa gave us a fashion show while she was packing for Vegas. Did y'all peep the Gucci, then the Louis, and then the Chanel purse? Okay, girl. Hey guys, this is Behind the Shade, and what am I talking about? I am talking about the Barnes Bunch, Season 1, Episode 3. No kids, no rules, Vegas Unleashed. Let's get into it. So, the Barnes Bunch, Anasa and Matt are at home packing for Vegas, and he is discussing the new deal that he got with the DraftKings. I guess he's leaving Showtime, and he has a 2-year deal of $20 million, and he is now the CEO, I guess, of All the Smoke with him and Jackson. They pack. He has to go. Remember, he has to go there for a tournament. He's going to be there for about 3 days. And so the barber's wife, Janine, is going to watch the kids. The twins are with their moms. So there's Anansa's 3 kids and their 1 son together. So the babysitter only has to watch 4 out of 6 kids. They call the kids in, they call the Janine in, and they give the house rules. You will listen to her. You will go to bed at 9:30. You this, you that. You eat whatever she cooks. Blah blah blah. And the daughter Ava heard her say, I can stay up, I'm gonna party, and I'm gonna do what I wanna do. That Ava is something else. She is a mess. She is like, I'll be in this house with all boys. What about me? I'm doing me. So they head to Vegas, and Nasa's friends start showing up, and all her best friends are from high school, I think, except for one. So we get Shaya, who is Kobe Bryant's oldest sister. She comes first. Then she has a crew, about 3 other girls come in. They all hug, and they're friends from high school, and that is really nice. And then they show Matt interviewing his podcast, and they are interviewing Andre Ward, who is from my hometown, Oakland. He's a retired boxer, and they're in there having a good time and all that. So they wrap up. And so the women are back at the Airbnb, and they're making drinks, and there's food out. Looks like it was catered, dropped off, and set up for the crew. And Anasa wants to call the kids. Then she tells Shaya that there's a special treat coming later on that night, and it's going to require some stretching and this and that. And Shaya's like, what is that? Oh my God. So when everybody gets to the house, Matt and his friends are there, and most people are single. I think she pointed out that one friend, Mariana, is married, and Shaya is married, but her other 2 friends are single. And I believe Matt had his faithful 3 friends, and they're single. He called them losers. So the surprise is a sex and dominatrix coach, and most of those trainers are in the poly world. So she comes to show them different ways to express sex and become more vulnerable and more open about sex and touch and positions, and and so Anansa and Matt gets up to be the demonstrators of such. And so the homies are like, hey, go get a room. Like, stop. That's enough. So it's all cute and everything. So I think they just spent rest of the night drinking. Because the next morning they wake up, they're in the kitchen, and they're cooking breakfast. And so Nasa tells them, well, today we're going to go to the ice bar and then we're going to have dinner. And then her other friend is coming over. And so they go. So then they show the kids at home and they're playing, coloring, and just making a mess. And they're asking, how much does mom miss us? And so Ava says about a 9. No. I think the son said about a 9 because the 1% is her in Vegas having fun. And then I think Ava said an 8. And then the other son said 10. He was like, she missed us 10 because she keep calling. And then the little baby, he says, he just does a countdown at 5 because I think he's only 4 years old. So he does 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's so cute. So the girls had the guys, they didn't go. I don't know where the guys were. But the girls go to an ice bar, and this is like a really cold place, and it's really a bar. They're in this space, and the chairs are ice, and they have to wear these coats and hats, and they're sitting there drinking, and I would have had a headache in there. And so they're in there. I don't know. Don't seem like they stayed too long because I'm sure everybody was freezing. And so they go back home, and then the friend comes over, and her name, I wrote it down, but I don't know where I wrote it. Started with a T. What was that girl's name? But she is RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan. She's his wife, and she's really cute. So I don't know where the homeboys were, but Shayla had some alone time, and her and Matt sit down on the couch, and they, Shay, am I saying, is her name Shayla or Shay? I think it's Shaya. She checks in with Matt because she's friends with him also. Like they have a friendship too. And so she wants to check in with their relationship, make sure they're on point. Because they're supposed to be getting married. And he was like, yes, we're good. Yeah, I think he just said pretty much they're good. Everything is checking out and we're on the right path and communication is good and all that is going good. I think he's happy. And she's like, okay, great. So it shows Matt back at work and now he's interviewing Cameron, the rapper Cameron. And he has a podcast too with Mace. And I can't remember the name, but the clips that I see, they are over there having a cut up time. So they're talking, and Matt asked him, did Nia Long respond to his DM? Because, when Nia Long broke up with the coach to the Celtics, Cameron slid in her DMs. And so he said he think his reputation messed it up because he had a song that was out, and he think his image is messed up, and she's not going to reach out. So the girls are sitting in the ice bar still, and so Anansa asked the single women about the dating pool. Oh, the wife, her name is Talia. Here it is. Her name is Talia. And so she asked the girls, like, how's the dating life? And they're like, it's a little rough because the older you get, the more you're little, you got your boundaries and it's some stuff you're not going to put up with and blah, blah, blah. And so we move on from there. So back at home, Talia comes and joins them. She's really cute. She's really, really cute. She's really cute. I was going to say, I'm assuming she flew in from New York, but that doesn't have to be true, right? Because RZA is an actor, right? They probably live in LA. I don't know. Maybe they have kids and she had other engagements behind the scene. Maybe she just couldn't pick up and join them. So she came when she could. Okay. So she's there and they all go to dinner. And I like that big group, men and women. They're all sitting there and everybody's just chilling, knowing how to have a good time. And that's what I like. And so they're talking about relationships and how important respect is for men. And then NASA cuts her friend off, like, well, for women too. And then the girlfriend is like, hold on, let me finish. And so she said, because that makes them feel good and they need that. And so one of Matt's friends was like, he agreed. He said, yeah, he said, I prefer respect over love. And I'm like, huh? Let's have both. And then Matt is just sitting there looking like, oh boy. He just blank face. I don't know if he was high or getting tipsy. He just sitting there. And so then the baby topic comes up. And why? Why? We are in Vegas. We are drinking and eating and having fun. Why are we talking about a baby in front of all these single people? And we supposed to be having fun. Vanessa, she don't know how to have fun. She don't. And who's the oldest kid? Ava, I think. If she's not 12 yet, is she? I'm just asking because I'm like, Anasa, you haven't been a mother that long to where you are just so engrossed in motherhood, you don't even know how to have fun. But maybe because a whole bunch of kids probably will take you out of that and being married. So maybe, but I don't think this is the time or place for this conversation. That's probably why Matt is quiet. And you're not reading the room, Anansa. You're not reading the table. Your man is sitting there like, he waiting on the next conversation. And you over there tipsy. So here you go talking about you want a baby. Because when you get to drinking, you're going to say your true thoughts. So that's what's on your mind. So they're like, you want to have another kid? And she's like, yeah, I want a girl. And Matt says, there's just no more room in the extended Escalade for a seventh baby. And so he tells us, she's tipsy. So he's not going to debate with her at this time. They'll talk about this later. And so they decide to have fun. They start dancing and having a good time. And Anansa is freaking on Matt. And you could tell his third leg was enjoying the dance because it was like, uh-oh, uh-oh. And so everyone is sleepy and saying how, it must have been really late. And they're trying not to be sleepy and go back home and go to sleep. So they break out dancing at the restaurant. And someone says, oh, we might not have to go to the club now. And they're just having a good time. So the next morning at breakfast, everyone's sitting down and they mention sex because Matt and Anasa had sex the night before, and they asked him, but did you try any of those tips from the coach? And Matt was like, nah, he was, so Anasa was like, well, I did, the touching on your arm. And he was like, oh yeah. And someone said, well, did it feel like a spider was crawling on you? He didn't even notice. So they all decided, okay, let's get up. It's time to go. Everybody got to go home because this was a 3-day trip and it's time to go. So outside at the pool, and this Airbnb is really nice. Like it was really big and nice. Those big old double doors, the see-through doors with the iron on it. Oh my God, it was just a beautiful home. And so clearly the weather wasn't hot. So they were all like, we need to come back when it's hot out here. Everybody's outside with slippers on and socks and sweatsuits and long dusters trying to keep warm. So the girls are at the pool, and these are Anansa and her 3 friends, and they're all married. And it's Shea, it's Mariana, and Talia, Riz's wife. And so they're at the pool and they're talking about being married, and they bring up the miscarriage. So Anasa tells her 3 friends that she miscarried back in 2019 and how it just drew a wedge in their relationship and they broke up. And because she was grieving the loss of her kid, and she just wasn't in the shape to share with anybody or talk about it or nothing. And so Mariana, she's a great friend. So she's encouraging that you share these things with your friends because we all go through stuff like that. And it's just so much like we go through with the fibroids and the this and the that, physically that we make, the polyps she was mentioning also, and that she mentioned that we need emotional support from each other. So, because she says she understands, I think she had a miscarriage. She was saying with her husband, the sex wasn't the same. She didn't want to have sex and she wasn't communicating well because, she's sad. You're stuck there, and men, they don't feel it the same way because they didn't carry the baby. And I just love how they all just agreed that they would be open and supportive and share and not suffer in silence. Like, let's stop suffering in silence. Use your friends, guys, besties. Use your friends. Your friends are not just for fun and clubs and parties and vacation. Friends are there for tough times and low times to help you get through it. Your friends should be emotionally attached. They should be spiritually attached and fun, of course, but you should be able, there's got to be one friend that you can go to, one friend that you can go to talk things out. And if not, get a therapist. Get a therapist. So that was good. They agreed, and I love the way they all came together and gave everybody a group hug. It was just so cute. And of course, it was a little tearjerker moment. And that was pretty much it for the Barnes Bunch. We'll see what's going on with them next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and put your comments down in the chat. Tell me what you rate this episode. I liked it. It was cute. It was fun. I'll give it like a B. I'm giving out B's. Everything is a B. Talk to you later, besties. Bye.